Using the Lippmann-Schwinger equation, the incident phi kr is superimposed with spherical waves emitted from scattering at position r prime in the target. The amplitude of these scattered waves is proportional to the interaction potential Vr prime and the amplitude of the total wave field psi prime or just I write psi r prime at that point. That means the important point is the expression which I wrote before the green function. I can write psi kr in short is equal to phi kr plus dr prime g plus minus r prime vr prime psi k r prime. This is an important part, that using the Lippmann-Schwinger equation, the incident wave is superimposed with spherical waves emitted from scattering at position r prime in the target. The amplitude of these scattered waves is proportional to the interaction potential and the amplitude of the total wave field psi r prime at that point. Okay, now this I had shown pictorially as that this is the source which was generating particles. This was the collimator which was forcing the particles to follow a straight path, and then you had a target which had a region of r prime, which the potential was only active to a region of r prime, and then this was the original direction, z axis, and this is the direction where the detector is placed. Okay, therefore this is the important point, and this angle I call by the zenith angle, by the name zenith angle theta. Okay, this is one picture, but you know, when we talk about that beam was coming and the scattering took place, now the particles can be scattered in any direction. Okay, when it can scattered along any direction, then that means the scenario will be a three-dimensional scenario. It is something like you have got a target and projectiles are coming, that some of the particle can go in this direction, some in this direction, some in this, then any direction, and that can be only covered if you have a football beyond this and that football is covering everything, so that you won't be able to miss any particle. Now, this three-dimensional scenario, we draw it as, and this is an interesting picture, that this is your, say, x-axis, this is your z-axis, this is, say, x-axis, and this is your projectile, which has got energy E and momentum vector K. This is my incident beam, the direction of the incident beam. Okay? And then what you are doing, this is my y-axis, you are covering it through a cross section, because this is a three-dimensional scenario, and in this you are considering an area. This I called by the name, if you recall, r square d omega. This is the differential area dA, and along this you are observing particle, because you have placed a detector here. Therefore, this is the scattered beam. This is the scattered beam. Okay, and the energy is E prime and momentum vector is K prime. But what I am telling you, that for elastic scattering, E is equal to E prime. This is known as the geometry of the scattering experiment. This we call it as the geometry of the scattering experiment. And this is the direction of the unit vector R. Okay? Therefore, in general, you can put it in very convenient way. You say that projectiles are coming along the z-axis, scattering center is there, which is very well confined, and then the interaction is taking place. Some of the particles are getting scattered. Okay? Now let me just go back to the expression, part of the expression, where we had K prime E minus H naught plus minus I epsilon K double prime. What I am telling you, that H naught will operate on K prime, it will give us H cross K prime square by twice mu. Therefore, I can write this K prime H cross square by twice mu. This is K square minus K prime square plus minus, what should be this? What should be this part? See, I have taken H cross square by twice mu common. That means this epsilon should get modified. This epsilon was see what I am doing. We had this K prime H cross square K square by twice mu minus H cross square K prime square by twice mu plus minus I epsilon. This is the basic picture from quantum mechanics. But here what I have done, I have taken H cross square by twice mu common. Therefore, we have K square minus K prime square plus minus. In principle, this should be epsilon prime, because epsilon prime should be 2 mu by H cross square epsilon. This here H cross square by twice mu was not present. We are taking a common from this point. Therefore, we should multiply by twice mu by H cross square. But the important point is, this epsilon is an infinitely small quantity, And it is something like, if this is a quantity, something like this. If you are multiplying something, there will be a very small change here. And that means still you will have this as an infinite small quantity. Therefore, you will see that we will multiply this epsilon many times by a small factor. But that small factor is not in fact going to change significantly its magnitude. Therefore, although in principle I should write it as epsilon prime, but we will stick to epsilon because epsilon and epsilon prime, they are very close. Now, once we have operated by this H naught, we can take this common. This has not nothing to do with the states. K minus K prime square plus minus I epsilon K prime K double. And we have written this K prime K double prime as K square minus K prime is, sorry, this should be in denominator. I'm very sorry. Plus minus, this is in numerator. Plus minus I epsilon. And what is this? This is nothing but delta cube K prime minus K double prime. Okay, and as you can see, we had this expression delta cube K minus K prime K double prime, say dk double prime. This is equal to 1 when K prime will be equal to K double prime. This is going to give us 1 when K prime will be equal to K double prime. Therefore, what I am going to do, I am going to put back this in our expression that we had with the green function. Therefore, I am writing this as G plus minus R prime. This is equal to H cross square by twice mu double integral R K prime 1 over H cross square by twice mu K square minus K prime square plus minus I epsilon delta cube K prime minus K double prime. Then we had K prime R prime dk prime dk double. And what I am going to do, I am going to use the delta function property that this everywhere I should replace K prime by K double prime by K prime, and this part will be equal to 1. That means you see this is H cross square by twice mu, this in the denominator, and this is H cross by twice mu in the numerator. This will be equal to R K prime 1 over K square minus K prime square plus minus I epsilon K prime R prime. Now we will left with only dk prime because dk double prime we have exhausted. Okay. And then you see I had written the expression for RK prime, RK, and yeah, just to start with I wrote RK and K prime R prime. Here instead of that we have RK prime and here K prime R prime. Therefore, what we will have 1 over 1 by 2 pi to the power 3 by 2 from here, 2 pi 3 by 2 from here. Therefore, 1 square root from both the sides will go away. You will have 2 pi to the power 3 by 2 e to the power I K prime dot R 1 over, and in fact I should remove this by 2 because there will be a factor of 2 by 2 pi 3 by 2 from here also. K square minus k prime square plus minus I epsilon e to the power minus I k prime dot r prime 1 over k square minus k prime square plus minus I epsilon. That means I can take k prime common. I will be left with r minus r prime. Therefore, if I can rewrite this expression as 1 by twice pi cube e to the power I k prime dot r minus r prime 1 over k square minus k prime square plus minus, oh sorry, I have written it twice, I am very sorry. E power I k prime dot r minus r prime, and this will be dk prime. Now let q is equal to r minus r prime and use polar coordinates. Okay, for k prime, defining the polar angle relative to the direction of q such that see this is dk prime. As we write d cube r or dr as r square dr d cosine theta d phi, here we will write d cube k or dk as k square dk d cosine theta d phi in polar coordinates. Therefore, this is k prime dot q, an angle between k prime dot q, the angle between k prime and q is let's say theta. Therefore, this will be equal to e to the power I k prime q cosine theta upon this quantity, and this dk prime will give us k prime square dk prime d cosine theta d phi. Therefore, the expression that you will have g plus minus r prime, this is equal to 1 over twice pi cube 0 to infinity k prime square dk prime minus 1 to plus 1 d cosine theta 0 to 2 pi d phi e to the power I k prime q cosine theta upon k square minus k prime square plus minus I epsilon. That means we are supposed to solve this expression. Now, if you look at this expression, where is phi dependence? There is no phi dependence. Therefore, we can take 2 pi out, and here there is no theta dependence. Therefore, we can take this along with k prime square dk prime. Therefore, this expression I can write it as 2 pi by twice pi cube 0 to infinity k prime square dk prime upon k square minus k prime square plus minus I epsilon minus 1 to plus 1 e to the power I k prime q cosine theta d cosine theta. And this means this part will give you e power I k prime q cosine theta by I k prime q after integration. And when you will put the limit between -1 to +1, this will give you I k prime q minus e power I minus k prime q upon I k prime. Is it not? Therefore, I can write this as 2 pi by twice pi cube, or I should in principle write 2 pi whole square, 0 to infinity k prime square dk prime by k square minus k prime square plus minus I epsilon, and this will give you e to the power I k prime q minus e to the power minus I k prime q upon I k prime. Therefore, k prime, k1 k prime will get cancelled out. Here q is the magnitude, we will take it out, and this, as you can see, that we have k prime dk prime, okay, times e to the power I k prime q minus e to the power minus I k prime q. I can write this expression equivalently as 1 over 2 pi square. I am bringing this iq outside and I am dividing, I am considering a factor of 2, because this integral 0 to infinity, I can put the limit minus infinity to plus infinity if I have a factor of 1 by 2 here. Therefore, this is 1 by 2, a factor is coming because I am going to change the limit k prime dk prime upon k square minus k prime square plus minus I epsilon e to the power I k prime q minus e to the power minus I k prime. Now, since this is integral over k prime, therefore what I am going to do, this will be your next step. I will just multiply by a negative sign here such that this will become plus, this will become minus, and this will become minus plus, such that since I have multiplied by a negative sign, I have to take that negative sign into account here. Now, that means if we have to proceed ahead, what we can do? We can use Cauchy's integral formula. Okay, therefore I am stopping here on this expression. I am writing it on the next page, and if I multiply by I in the numerator and I in the denominator, this will become I square. That means a minus sign from here will cancel with this minus sign, and I we will get in the numerator. Therefore, my next step will be, and that will be the final step of today's lecture, g plus minus r prime, this is equal to I twice pi whole square into twice q minus infinity to plus infinity k prime dk prime e to the power I q k prime upon k prime square minus k square minus plus I epsilon minus infinity to plus infinity k prime dk prime e to the power minus iq k prime upon k prime square minus k square minus plus I epsilon. This is the integration which we have to solve. Okay, and for this tomorrow I will use Cauchy's integral formula to solve this expression, and my request would be just to go back to the Cauchy's integral formula and see that how we solve such type of integration, because what you realize that when I am going to solve this expression, I will have a singular point at k prime square is equal to k square. I will bring this to the right hand side, therefore instead of minus plus, this will become plus minus I epsilon prime, and that means my k prime will become plus minus k square plus minus I epsilon prime. And if I take k square common, then this will be plus minus k 1 plus minus I epsilon by k square. And since epsilon is an infinite small quantity, we can expand this, and when we can expand this, we will have plus minus k 1 plus minus I epsilon by 2k square, resulting us plus minus k plus minus, again you see 1k will cancel with this k, we'll have epsilon upon 2k, and that will be again an infinite small quantity, and we will still keep the notation I epsilon. Therefore we have plus minus k plus minus I epsilon, and therefore when I will start with this expression, I will use this tomorrow to solve this integral, and then this will be, you have to take it as a homework. That will give us the expression for the green function. Let us stop here. We shall start from this point. Thank you. आप लोगों ने इसका क्या सोचा? हाँ, असाइनमेंट सोच रहे हैं, तो ठीक है, मैं प्रॉब्लम शीट देता हूं आप लोगों को, आप लोग असाइनमेंट करिए, ठीक है? नहीं तो मेरे जहन में एक दूसरा ऑल्टरनेटिव था कि हम 5-5 लोगों का ग्रुप बनाएं और 3 टॉपिक फर्स्ट यूनिट से और 3 टॉपिक सेकेंड यूनिट से दें, इंस्टेड ऑफ द कंप्लीट सिलेबस 3 topics from the first unit and 3 topics from the second unit, and after 15 days we have viva for that. और फिर उसके 15 दिन के बाद 3 टॉपिक्स थर्ड यूनिट से और 3 टॉपिक्स फोर्थ यूनिट से, तो 6 टॉपिक्स होंगे, उससे आप लोग। लेकिन अगर आप लोग प्रेफर करते हैं असाइनमेंट, तो लेट्स हैव असाइनमेंट। ओके, थैंक यू।